and looking more like runway model. Michal Ansky is among Israel's most famous culinary and cultural reporters. She has also hosted various TV cooking shows in Israel and was even invited to join MasterChef USA as a guest judge. With a great love for the food of her home country, Michal published her first cookbook this year and organized different events to promote the Israeli fine cuisine. Ruthie Rousseau is another famous Israeli chef and food columnist. This certified chef from the French Culinary Institute in New York has written food columns for different newspapers and is the permanent chef on Israel's Iron Chef. And these two people, known as Israel's culinary jewels, have had the chance to come to Vietnam and discover the country's diverse culinary art.
Welcome to Talk Vietnam. In this edition of the show, we will meet with two Israeli food personalities. One is a food chef, a businesswoman, and a writer. And another person is a columnist and journalist on food. And one thing about them is that both of them are very successful, and they're women, succeeding in a field mostly dominated by men. So let's welcome Michal Ansky and Ruthie Rousseau. Hello, both of you. Nice to meet you. How was your stay in Vietnam?
It was wonderful. We came to give, we came to share, we came to cook for your people, to show us our tradition. But what actually happened is that we received a lot. We were really inspired by your people, your culture, your food culture. I feel like I'm going home with inspiration, and I'm sure it's the first time that we're coming here, but not the last.
I'm glad. I hope to see you here again. But yes, what about you, Ruthie?
We just want more. we kept running around. It was less than a week, and I wish we had more time to try more and taste more and see more, because whatever we see just very exciting and different.
So let's talk about before you came to this place. What did you know about Vietnam?
I knew quite a lot. Not about Vietnam, about Vietnamese cuisine, because I visit France, I visit Paris quite a lot, a few times a year, and every time I'm there I'm going to Belleville, which is the Vietnamese region. There's a lot of immigrants there, and there's a lot of restaurants, Vietnamese restaurants there, and I eat them daily. I went I think every time I'm there, it's for 5 or 6 days. I go there every day. And I think this is what's interesting about immigrants' food, because when they come to a foreign country, they really celebrate their home cooking because they miss it a lot. And it's their fantasies that are served on the table, not necessarily the authentic food. So it was very, very, very interesting for me to come here and to feel the real flavors and to see the whole wide range and combinations of your fresh herbs while eating the pho, while eating the things that I know, because I'm sure there the variety is much more narrow.
That's true. That's very, very true. So let's go to something that's very close to you guys. You know, food that's really close to you, Israeli food. So in your hearts, what is Israeli food?
That's a very good question, because we get that question even at home. Israel is a very young country. It is a country that is built on immigrants. There are hardly no local Israelis. We have the Palestinians who influence our kitchen a lot. Then I think the first time I realized that there is something considered Israeli food was when I was away. I was actually traveling in France, and after about 5 days of eating this really good French food, I missed home, and I missed the flavors of Israel. And it was the first time I realized there is something that is called Israeli food, and I want that. I think it is a combination of all the traditions, the history, the grandmothers, the holidays that were celebrated all over the world, and combined with the local produce, which is very varied, because Mediterranean climate can give you a lot of fresh vegetables and a lot of produce, and also enhances the volume of the flavors. So yeah, it took a while, but now we have plates that I can look at and say, this is Israeli cuisine.
Ruth and Michal are special, and that's not just because they cook. It's more because they're messengers of culture through food. And it's through what they do, they've managed to bring food to all levels of society and everyone in the world. Let's take a look at what they've done.
The Tel Aviv Farmers Market opened in May 2008 in the city's Newport area and became an Earth Market in 2009 thanks to Michal Ansky and her partner. Local growers bring here the produce to sell along with producers of artisan breads, cheeses and honey. It is the first of such market in Israel and it adopted the slow food philosophy from the outset. They have created 6 such markets in Beersheba, Herzliya and other Israeli cities so far. According to Michal Ansky, she and her partner are working together to bring farmers back to markets and improve the way Israelis eat.
So Michal, you have a farmer's market, and that farmer's market, tell us a little bit more.
What we did is basically went to all the little farms, the best producers of our country, and we asked them to come and sell their produce by themselves with no middleman. We showed them pictures of a farmer's market in France, and we were like, it will be like that and it will be wonderful. And some believed and some didn't, but it happened, and from day one it was quite a big success. And now 2 years ago I've opened an indoor market, which is in the port of Tel Aviv. It's called Shuk Hanamal, the port market of Tel Aviv, and now we have it open 6 days a week, even on a Saturday, which is normally everything is closed. And there's also 6 more farmers market across the country. So now people can get good local, fresh, seasonal foods and produce that usually you couldn't find in the supermarket.
I think the biggest sign of the success of the market is that the Israeli people got to know a lot of the products that are grown in Israel but were all imported outside. And now they started demanding those really good cherry tomatoes. I mean, you can find them now, you can find some of them in local supermarkets, which you couldn't before, because now they demand it.
That's true, that's true. So consumer demand is also one really important aspect of keeping the products in the country or bringing the good products to them as well. So Ruthie, I heard that you initially, you're a food columnist and you're a food journalist, and initially you did not want to write about food, but eventually decided to do so. So tell us the story.
My mother is a food columnist. She's been doing it for about 30 years. And she's really good at what she's doing. She's an amazing writer and very well known in her field. And I think pretty much since I learned how to write, I knew that I'm going to be a writer at some point. And then when I was just out of the army service, I went to the FCI in New York and became a certified chef and fell in love with cooking. But I didn't want to become my mom. And so I kept trying to escape my fate for so many years. And
how did you tell your mom about that?
Oh, she knew. I just said, I'm not going to become you. And she said, I don't think she ever pressured me. And she really understood why I'm, they kept asking me at my newspaper, they kept asking me to write about food. And I said, no, I'm going to write about anything but food. I just don't want to write about food. But fate is sometimes faster than you. And yes, so you can't escape your fate, I guess.
There's something that both of you use as well, and that's social media. That's on the internet as well. So Michal, you have over 10,000 followers on Instagram, and both of you guys are very, very popular. So tell us a little bit about, how you made use of media to popularize your food.
We were born to a generation where everything is really fast and approachable. And I think this is what Instagram gives, and also Facebook gives. And with the right combination of good pictures, which is something I think I taught myself doing, taking the right angles, taking pictures of food. Ruthie is the same. We're kind of obsessed with that.
Yes.
Because we take a picture of the food before we eat it. And people
want to eat.
People want to eat, but we're like, no. Put your hands in the table like this, and I'm taking the plate to the light, to the sun, because when you're doing pictures of food, you have to take pictures where exactly the opposite when you pick in pictures of portrait of people, like in front of the sun, and all these kind of things. And I know that my fans, they need to see how my life looked like from the inside, because I'm sure as a person, as a television figure, you know that you have like a personal, like a non-personal figure on television. But when I open my life, like I give a window to my personal life through the social networks, through Instagram, through Facebook. We're curious people. We want to see how people live. We like peeking in people's windows, and I think that is what the social networks
are all about.
Yeah,
I think it's. I agree with what you said. I think it's like a personally controlled reality show. I mean, because you document your life. Yeah, you document your life almost 24 hours a day, but then you edit your life and you decide what to show the people.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to follow Michal and Ruthie on their expedition to a traditional Vietnamese market. And if you follow them on Instagram or Facebook, you might have been able to see some of the pictures on Facebook. So let's check out the real scenes behind those social media pictures, as well as what excited their eyes and their taste buds.
Home Market is among the destinations that Michal and Ruthie visit upon their arrival in Vietnam. With a great passion for food, the two Israeli food experts feel great to have a chance to explore the things that a market in a foreign country like Vietnam offers. And undoubtedly, what they can find here is totally different from what they experience in their home country, and has given them some idea about the local cuisine.
I think Vietnamese kitchen doesn't like a lot of spices. It uses a lot of herbs, but not spices. And in Israel, we use heavy spices. Something we should learn from your kitchen.
I also noticed you use other parts of the plant that we don't as spices. Like, for example, the citrus leaf. I mean, we have so many kinds of citrus in Israel, and we can use the leaves to give flavor, which we never do.
Yeah.
We never use that.
So
it's probably more subtle. You can really control it. If you use the juice, it can overpower your dish. But if you use the leaf, it's probably just the shadow of the flavor. Yes, which is interesting too. Oh, I love it.
These Israeli ladies also gain greater experience by enjoying different local cuisine.
It grows in the water.
So, Ruthie, you've had a chance to try, a dish at the market. You got a chance to drink something. Tell us a little bit about that drink.
This was served, I forgot the name of it. Yes, so it was so cold and refreshing and sweet and sour and a little bit salty, and yeah, it was delicious. And it was not, for me, it's like someone telling me that there are new shades of colors that I didn't see, and suddenly trying new shades of flavor that I never tasted. It's mind-blowing.
So, the things that you've seen and smelled, and maybe not tasted, but what would you use, and what would you use it for?
I'm very curious about new ingredients, so definitely the fresh herbs. I would love to know each one. I would love to try them and to incorporate them into even Israeli dishes. I love that, and I use it a lot in my kitchen, and having more is just an amazing opportunity for me. But also, I fell in love with the lotus seeds. Yes, I would love to have like a huge sack of lotus seeds in my house and just do lots of experiments with it.
You'll be able to sleep well for a year.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah, it's rumored to help to aid in sleeping. So among all the stuff that you've tried, did you try anything that you've tried before in Israel, and then here you tried it again?
No, we don't have an approach to what we had here back at home, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think food has its own territory, and I think the banh mi we had yesterday, I will miss it.
And it's good to miss it.
And it's good to miss it. And I don't want to eat it at home. I want to eat it in Hanoi, on the street, in the same place that I want to come back, and I want the people to say, ah, you're that girl who ate tubani. Or I want to come back, and I need the air, and I need the people's faces, and I need the local sauce, and it will influence, this visit will influence probably the way that I cook at home. And like you said, we will probably go home and make chicken soup and put coriander there and like lime and fresh. We don't have fresh rice noodles, but we put dried rice noodles. It will probably happen, but never in my life I will forget this visit.
Michael and Ruthie have not been in Vietnam for a long time, but this time they are going to whip up some Israeli and Vietnamese dishes as well. So I'm going to join them and learn how to make Israeli dishes and maybe show them a little bit of how the Vietnamese dishes are made. So there's something that I've always wanted to know from you guys, and what is good food in your opinion?
I think good food is food that is treated with respect. It should be, the ingredients should be picked up with respect. They should be treated with respect. The tradition should be treated with respect. And once you respect the food that you make, you respect the food that you consume, I respect your tradition and I will respect your food and appreciate it, even if it doesn't affect my taste buds the way I'm used to or want it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Michal?
First of all, I completely agree with what Ruthie said. But if I would ask to add to that, it's food that makes you feel good after you eat and while you eat, because there are certain foods that you eat and you just want to go to sleep, or that makes you tired. But certain kinds of food brings you up. It lifts you up. It makes you happy. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to go out and conquer the world. And food can do that.
That's true.
And for me, this is good food.
So it's something that's very personal, right? It makes people happy. It makes people want to do things, and it's a connector of people to things that they want to do or they like to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where do you find your cooking inspiration, both of you?
I think I find it everywhere, and it really doesn't have to be necessarily related to food. I mean, it can be, sometimes even food can be uninspiring to me. Especially if it's already plated. I mean, okay, so I want to eat it, but something that would throw me to the kitchen is many times not related to food. It can be music, it can be painting, it can be art, a dance, fashion. It can be just a plate, and I would look at the plate and I would say, okay, it needs to have this salad on top of it with this and that. I mean, it can be my daughter. It can be really things that are not related to food at all.
That's interesting. And how did that develop? Did it develop during your teenage years? Did it develop as you have a daughter?
No.
Or?
No, I think it is something of recent years. I think it is the more mature you get, your influences become more complex. Because as a child, you see a commercial for McDonald's, and this influences you to buy a burger. Today, that won't affect me at all. Today, I need My passion is more complex. I'm a more complex person. I need different kinds of inspirations.
Both Mikhail and Ruthie think of food in a broader context, how globalization affects food and how food affects globalization. But food to them is also closely intimate. Let's take a look at how intimate food is to them.
Apart from spending time to explore the local fine cuisine, Mikhail and Ruthie also share the experiences about Israeli food with their homemade specialty.
Today we're presenting mazets, which are small plates of different salads, a carrot salad, an aubergine salad, tahini, burekitas, which are small like baked dumplings with feta cheese and with burnt aubergine inside that smells like fire. So it will be like having small taste of the Israeli kitchen.
We're making a meze-style appetizer, which is very common in Israel. You serve lots of little plates with either cooked salads or pastries or fresh salads, and we all share them from the table. We just, you put some on your plate and you mix them, and the juice from this mixes with the sauce from this, and you dip the bread in it, and this is how we usually eat.
Mikhail, you talked a little bit about how, eating is similar to making love. And tell me a little bit more.
I really believe that. I think that people take for granted the fact that they put things in their bodies that it's like, I don't want to sound, I don't want to insult anyone, and I'm sure like children are watching this show, but it's like, it's really intimate. It comes, I said, you bring the spoon into your mouth and you swallow, and it's like it becomes who you are, literally. And it's even more than making love in a way, because after you make love, this person goes away, and that doesn't happen with food. So the amount of respect and the amount of intimacy is massive. But yet, we sit at our houses, we sit at restaurants. The kitchen is behind a closed door. You don't know what's going on there, and you eat. So it's like a blind trust of the food that comes into your mouth. And beside the fact that it just enters our body, it builds our body. It builds our brain cells. It builds our immune system. It builds. It makes our children grow up. So it's the things that makes us who we are. It's the thing that makes us healthy. It's the thing that makes us sick. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't take that for granted.
It's true. So, what are your views on eating something that you don't know what you're eating, and eating something that you don't know who made the food?
Okay, eating something that you don't know who made is pretty common. Whenever you go to a restaurant, you experience that, and I love the mystery of having someone presenting himself or herself in a dish without me knowing who made it. Like Michal said, it's like making love with someone you don't know. Yes, in the dark. Right. Yes, and eating something that I don't know. Well, that's probably one of the thing that I love most. I think part of enjoying food is related to innocence, and eating something that you don't know, there is something very innocent about it, and it can be as thrilling as any innocent experience. It's like seeing the sky for the first time.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you're a baby, and you're fed everything and you don't really know. So both of you eat for a living, but yet both of you are amazingly fit. So how do you do it with a family and with such busy careers?
I think this is the question we've heard most times in our life.
I don't really eat, I just do that. I just
No,
smell.
we eat a lot.
I live.
We eat a lot and we eat for a living. We have good genes.
Yeah, my mother was the same until she had her third child, and then she got bigger. So
You'll stop by the second.
I'll stop in a second. I went to a fortune teller in Vietnam, and he told me that I will only have 2 children, and maybe more children from my next husband. So just wait and see. I promise to text you if I gain fat or if I have more children. You will know.
I see. So some foods we think may be bad for us. For example, burgers and fries. So what do you think about, do you consider them as food, as people who love food so much? Or what are your views on those types of foods that may look unhealthy or may be unhealthy?
I think, first of all, it depends on what you define as bad food. I mean, French fries, okay, it might not be the most nutritious food to eat, but I don't think it's really bad for you, as long as you consume it in proportions to your other things that you eat. I think everything should be eaten with some thought and some respect, and as long as you treat the food that you eat with the respect that you give to your body and to your health, it should be okay. You shouldn't live on burgers and fries. You should consume other things, and this way you can have a balanced diet, and it shouldn't be too dangerous or too harmful for you. But I think it just most of this food turns to be very, very cheap and very easy to get, and you don't wash the dishes most of the time.
That's true.
So many families move to, instead of eating a balanced diet, they would switch to eating all this considered junk food.
I agree, and I think whatever you crave is probably good for you. If you get up in the morning, you feel like, I want to eat meat, like I need steak. It happens to me quite a lot, like I have to eat red meat. And I know that probably is what my body needs. So we have to be, I think, connected to ourselves. And this is what I think we're fighting for, because we lost the connection to ourselves. Our body tells us what we need to eat, and oil is essential to our body. It became like the greatest enemy of the 20th century, but we need oil to survive, and we need it. Our body needs it. And we don't need exaggerated fat, and we don't need a lot of junk, and we don't need oil in big quantities, but we need oil.
So you guys wanted to meet a fortune teller. You guys went to meet a fortune teller. Do you believe in fate, or do you believe that success is due to one's own efforts?
Both, probably.
Both. I believe in the combination. I believe that one follows his own faith, or like Ruthie said in the beginning of the interview, that the faith follows
chases you.
Yes, chases you. But I really believe in doing, and I really believe in dreaming, and I really believe that we have the power to build our own future. And if you just sit at home and say, "Ooh, I want to do great things," and I see sometimes children said, "Yeah, I want to be the president, or I want to be a model," and I'm like, "This is what I want to give to my daughter." You want to be something? You want to do something? Get out of the couch and do it. And it's demanding, and it needs training, because you cannot stop doing it. I feel like I'm working 24/7 because I'm always very concentrated in for me, everything is working. Sitting here with you is working. Going afterwards and having soup is working. Talking to the phone, it's like I never stop, because I'm building. And I don't believe that fate would just knock on your door and said, "Ta-da!
I'm here."
And unless you win the lottery, and it sometimes happens. So
But
it's a combination.
You have to do the lottery first.
Yeah, it's a combination between luck, faith, and a strong believing in yourself, and energy.
During their stay in Vietnam, Mikon and Ruthie have a chance to visit Thanh Chi rice grape village. Here, they witness the traditional style of rolled rice grape making by Mrs. Daw, a woman who has devoted her life to the art of crepe making. And more than just taking a look, the two Israeli ladies have a chance to put their hands on the job.
It looks so easy, and when you try it, yeah, in 2 seconds I felt that my muscles are getting getting weak and yeah, almost painful. But I like that pain. It's a pain to make food. I like that.
Regarding themselves as big fans of rice grape, the two young ladies, however, have never tasted rolled rice grape made by hand like this. From grinding the rice to steaming, rolling, and then tasting the food themselves, Mikon and Ruthie through the trip experienced some nice moments enjoying the Vietnamese culture through the delicacy of local cuisine.
By seeing all traditions today, the way the flour of the rice is being made, the way the pancakes is lightly made on the fire, the way it's rolled, and the way you put the meat inside, and then directly come to my mouth, I feel privileged, I feel honored to be here. I think our role as people in this world, and I think that I'm very proud that all the media is here, is to tell the people we have to maintain these traditions. We have to keep the people who are making this sort of food safe. We have to take care of them so they will move their knowledge to their children and to their grandchildren.
You must have a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that, probably on a daily basis. But it means that they appreciate their culture and appreciate their tradition. And this is why it's worth the effort. They know they're making something that is unique and is part of their identity. And it's important to preserve this kind of things.
It's a short trip to Vietnam, but it has provided Mikon and Ruthie with many things to remember. And one of those things is the diversity of the local cuisine.
So let's talk about your book then. You wrote a book about recipes from your childhood, and you're writing a book right now about the foods that you meet around the world. So what are you going to be writing about for this new book?
I'm writing a new book about. I will write another cookbook because my cookbook is quite. It was surprising because I deal with food, and it's really. People expected me to give like recipes of a restaurant, and I gave very, very simple recipes, almost embarrassingly simple. But this is what I believe in food. It has to be approachable for everyone, and it is a bestseller. So I'm very, I know I did well. So I am working on another cookbook, but I'm writing a very large food history book about the greatest meals in history. Yeah, because I think meals and dinners are a social tool. They are a political tool. We're surrounded by politicians and diplomats, and they eat together and they drink together, and it breaks the ice and it makes you feel closer. And it's so interesting for me because I deal a lot with food history. And
will you ever think of incorporating something about Vietnam in your future books?
Yes.
A sneak peek of what you might plan to do?
I just arrived and it's still
very new.
Building, but I would love to come and visit the different regions and do maybe a book or a show about the production, the ancient production of the different foods that you have here. Today we're going to see, this is our last day, and today we're going to see how you produce the rice leaves freshly, and I saw a documentary about that, and I'm so excited that I'm going to see it firsthand. So really bring it to the people, show it to everyone at my country, your tradition of making, producing, and cooking foods.
your experience here, what do you think about Vietnamese women? What are some of your impressions on the Vietnamese women?
First of all, I'm sorry to be so... They are so beautiful. You guys, it really took my breath away. It was like
What's your secret?
flawless. We spoke about inspiration before. My God,
Yes.
really, like I think the most beautiful women I ever seen in my life,
There was
ever
something
in the
very-
world, ever.
And there was something
Sorry.
very comforting about this beauty. It's
Comforting
very,
and elegant, and the
yes,
way they hold themselves,
graceful.
they're like flowers. And beside that, when you start to have a
Talking.
conversation, they're enlightened and they're intelligent
And educated.
and educated and
interesting.
curious, and they're generous, and they want to share everything with you. And you ask for directions for someone, and he will take you by your hand and show you. He wouldn't just like go there. There's something so generous and pleasant about women in Vietnam. If everyone is seeing us right now and he's considering of going or maybe not going, go. It's like, it's welcoming, it's full of inspiration, the food is wonderful, and the people are warm and welcoming. And so, yeah, don't think twice.
What suggestions do both of you have for female chefs, who want to succeed in such a male-dominated field?
I think women have a very sensitive palate, and from what I see and from what I know about myself and about the women surrounding me, we're very fit, and we're fit for everything that we want to do. I mean, we can do anything we want, sometimes better. And
Many times better.
most of the time.
Most
better.
of the time. better.
And do you tell your husbands that?
Oh yeah, all the time, every day,
No,
on a
they
daily
know.
basis. They know.
They know. They don't need to be told. I think a lot of Vietnamese women will be very, very happy to hear that. And, definitely seeing you guys as well as representatives of the Israeli women and the women that we've met during your trip from the embassy. I think Israeli women just represent a sense of woman power. You guys do it, and you guys are passionate. You guys are...
We're tough.
So do you.
Thank you. So yes, I think it's, women power united, and you guys really do want, do let us want to work with more Israeli women. I think you guys are the power of the women today. So thanks so much for being with us on the show.
Thank you.
A lot of the times we eat food. We eat food every day, but we don't always think about the influence of food on a greater context. Globalization affects food every day, and food affects globalization. And it's globalization that brought us, the two Israeli chefs today, to the studio, so that they can talk about food's influence on them and their influence on food. So thanks to them and their representation, we can find, each of us can find how our own way to make food a greater part of society. And that's it for this episode of Talk Vietnam. We'll see you next time.